Good evening and Jai Sri Ram to everyone. We are live once again. Uh, so today's today's topic is Prana or the life force as a universal energy and vision of the fundamental observer. In this today's session, we would be seeing and the questions those are is Prana only a breath or it is a cosmic force? Or how can we understand the relationship between the prana or the life force and that of consciousness. So let's begin. So fundamentally, we know that from many of our sessions, still warm up, we know that Shakti or Chetana and the fundamental consciousness can stay into two positions, right? uh, Either Shakti or the energy can stay as unity within own self, or as a number one, it can be denoted by mathematical logical position of number one in Sankhya Yoga, or as a light during the day in the vision, or as Shunya or zero or night in Srishti or uh, the universe, or the vice versa. So these are the almost exact conditions of the singularities and dualities uh, in which the fundamental uh, energy and the fundamental life force stays. Now, because Chetana and the consciousness has, due to its own quality, therefore it is speed, right? Or paramgati, or the fundamental speed, or the speed of light somewhere, and therefore it is energy also, right? We know that most of us scientifically now know that chetana or consciousness or light uh, or the speed of light uh, thus as energy. With respect to the truth, now we see the fundamental first observation. With respect to the truth, the change is in opposite direction. Now that would be the perpendicular downwards. But in the actual condition is it is only this picture is depicted if it is only seen from very far. But in reality, because that fundamental force, that fundamental chetna, that shivatva or shakti, or we call it Bhagwan or God, but it has to be the truth, the fundamental logical truth, the existential fundamental truth. It is an absolute stable condition. So any movement or any changes has to be relative to that truth. So in respect to that truth, which is perpendicular upwards, increasing, infinitely increasing, we have uh, the speed of light, the first intelligence or the first transformation of light from that nirakar or that origin which has no shape, or which is absolutely stable within its own condition. Either it can be the unity of within zero, or it can be the unity of light uh, as Brahma. So as it is awareness, as it is intelligence, therefore it has the ability uh, to change its absolute stability, right? Beyond universe or beyond creation. Because it is intelligence, an intelligent entity has ability to change its position, its condition. Thus, the absolute stability or thus the absolute truth is changing its condition. or the unit stability, or whatever we may call that condition of the origin, whatever unit condition we may call that event, as a smaller universe or a bigger universe or a world, or even a self or any smaller entities or kinds. So those are in their uh, condition of absolute stability, and because they are alive, they has a tendency and they have a power to change their condition. Fundamentally, beyond the universe, from with respect to the fundamental observation, the fundamental position and the fundamental change in his own observation is thus the fundamental first speed as the speed of light. As it is changed, therefore, uh, it can easily be depicted and can be known that without energy there cannot be any motion. Thus, that motion which knows itself, that fundamental observer first time sees his own or positions his own uh, light, his own intelligence to another position other than self. This is the first criteria for the uh, creation. Now, creation is not being started yet, but the process of creation before uh, the occurrence of the universe, this has to be the condition. Now, next is this transformation is seen in two places or at two or in two ways. Either this transformation is easily seen beyond a time or in universe as light or prakash or param prakash or param gati or its speed or the speed of light. Here light forms any solar systems or any or many solar systems or cosmic objects depending uh, on his own speed positions or positions of the speed in to the time. On Earth, which is a small cosmic order, a smaller planet, a smaller object with respect to the universe. Here, human beings are formed by the assimilations of many smaller particles or atoms. Now, uh, when a biological body is formed, it is formed also as an as equivalent to the condition of the consciousness of that fundamental or infinite uh, energy, infinite form of universe that could ever be formed. Right now, the assimilation and the summation of these smaller chetanas or smaller form of intelligence or smaller part of light in form of intelligence. Here it is seen, it is the first time it is seen as Prana or the life force. That is, when first time the light when transformed into smaller objects and when smaller objects and smaller entities or into the smaller elements on earth, and when they combine, that energy combine, that first time uh, this position, this event uh, is known as a fundamental life force, or generally regarded as the fundamental life force or prana. And general human are unable to harness their infinite energy, their infinite potential. But saints, rishis, munis, and tapasvis know this trick through their wisdom uh, and through self-realization. Or any person uh, who had been self-realized would know his existence as infinite. Thus, assimilation and summation of these particles or atoms of Chetana or the speed of light. Thus, and intelligence, here it is seen as Pran or life form, which acquires a biological body or some other objective bodies. Mostly here on Earth, in our daily life, human beings understand uh, life force as mostly as their own body. Sometimes, if they ponder upon, they would call their life force into or as their mind. Or if people are emotional enough, intelligent enough, they would regard their heart or the position of heart as the life force, right? Now, from this image, it can easily be depicted that how life force is being formed. The fundamental light from the fundamental observer, when transformed into a world or universe, into smaller planets, and this same origin, this same movement uh, carries on, the biological entities are formed. So this Chetana, this consciousness, this Prana, this life force is tied into the time particles or thus time cycles. In reality, this time cycle is not that of a body, but sorry, not that of Prana, right? This life cycle, which or the time cycle which we see or understand, is not that of the pran or the life force, but that of the but those of the particles uh, in which the life force is wrapped into. Thus, visible bodies are formed uh, as the positions of differentiated speed of time or oscillated time positions. Thus, different bodies can be visible at different time dimensions. In vice versa, in different time dimensions, the bodies would be visible into different forms. Now, all those would be relative to the difference in the observational speed of the vision. Either that vision can be of the fundamental observer, which can see the transformation from absolute stability into the first observational uh, occurrence, then from first observational occurrence of light to own intelligence and vision into universal object and entities, and uh, into those universal object and entities, the biological orders, and from that biological orders, that life and that light is wrapped into or wrapped into a biological body entity through elemental states or elements of that planet. So now we know that 99% of the atom is empty. Further, it is that emptiness in Adhyatma or in spirituality is also known as Shunya or Akash Tattva or also Chetana or the consciousness or Shunyata or zero or Shivatva or the Shiv Tattva. Now this is also can be seen as the condition of unity between the zero and whatever is the condition of that emptiness. So an atom is a unit of intelligence. Thus, an atom is the unit of intelligence transformed uh, into and as a light position, or it is a specific spot of light at a specific time. in between the condition of unity in that specific event, entity, time, or observational event or that of life. Now, for the saints and the tapasvis, or for who has attained a good or the highest meditative position, this can easily be understood as the place of Ardhanareshwar or the place of duality, and not just the dualities as the energies of dualities or the positions of dualities, but also as in human or godly form or God in human form. Now, this coming to the next slide, we can see the fundamental life force does perform operations. Now, our intelligence does through intelligence uh, that life force performs what? Life operations. A life is born and the body is guided to